Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10, reaching you live from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll begin at the presidential villa, where President Bola Tinubu has met with Governor Siminalayi Fubara and other stakeholders from Rivers State who were on a visit to make a case for the completion of the East-West Road ahead of the completion of the refinery in Port Harcourt, scheduled for operations by December this year. President Tinubu also met the APC National Chairman and members of the Livestock Reform Committee as part of efforts to resolve farmers' headers crisis. We have details in this report.
A high-powered 62-man delegation comprising of leaders from the governing All Progressives Congress and the opposition People's Democratic Party are at the State House in Abuja. The visit is to meet President Bola Tinubu on the state of the East-West Road and its impact on the Port Harcourt Refinery. The delegation, led by the Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, commended the President for recently attracting a $14 billion investment during the G20 summit.
We humbly urge Mr. President to note that access to the refinery on the East-West Road is in most deplorable state, and we appeal to Mr. President to approve the reconstruction thereof so as to facilitate the transportation of petroleum products from the refinery. Mr. President, it is worthy to reiterate the fact that the good people of Rivers State decided to pay you this solidarity and thank you visit, to sincerely commend you for your kind and bold effort.
President Tinubu assured the delegation that critical infrastructures and parts of the East-West Road linking the Port Harcourt Refinery will be reconstructed.
The request for
Let's talk more now on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's meeting with the Rivers State delegation. I have joining me a Niger Delta activist, Opunabo Inkotaria, on the news at 10, and he joins us from Rivers State. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. Let's begin with your assessment of the attention that the South-South region is receiving from the Bola Tinubu presidency.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, and good evening, Nigeria. I must say it's a welcome development that the Rivers State governor met with the president of the country, especially on the East-West Road. That is the road that has been abandoned for years. So it's a pleasant news to hear that President Tinubu, who is just in office for about 100 days, has some interest in the road. But I must say that it is not just about the high blood pressure of the settled rhetoric and anemia of corporate performance. What we expect is for the president to walk the talk. That is one, especially like the governor has rightly said, is one road that leads to the refineries to and fro. And it has been a very, very deplorable state. I remember when I was a special advisor to Governor Yeson Wiki, that we had meetings with industries that are in that area, and Wiki claimed that all efforts were frustrated by the then Minister for Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, because Wiki was involved. And so most of those who were committed to ensuring the rehabilitation of that road were discouraged by the so-called Minister for Transportation under the Buhari's administration. And so nothing was really done on that project. And while in Rivers State, we don't really discriminate between federal government and state projects, because we believe that Rivers residents are the ones that are using the roads. We don't discriminate, but I know that to a very large extent, there was some sort of national influence concerning the rehabilitation of the East-West Road.
Absolutely, Mr. Inkotaria. Absolutely. You have talked about the fact that this project has been abandoned for some time, successive administrations, including someone who is actually a son of the soil in person of Goodluck Jonathan. But now that the Tinubu government says it will do something about this, how optimistic are you about it? Is this mission really possible?
Well, like I said, I said in my preliminary statement, I said it is not enough for us to have the high blood pressure, the deceptive rhetoric, and anemia of country performance. In other words, you walk your talk. For now, I will not say, I would only say we are very happy that Tinubu is committed to the rehabilitation of the roads, but I cannot say for sure if he's going to walk the talk. That's the whole essence of this whole visit to the president of the country.
Why do you doubt may not work with you, Mr. Inkotaria? What is the reason for your doubt?
A past administration, that this first road has not just been there, it has been there for years. And most presidents, especially the predecessors of Mr. President, have always promised that they are going to work on the road. And if they have kept to their promise, as we speak right now, we won't be talking of the East-West Road at all, because they would have been done with it. But the past presidents and the National Assembly members have all visited and promised that they were going to do something on that road, and nothing was done. And that is where I have no doubt that it is not just enough to talk, to make the promises, but you also have to walk the talk. So if Mr. President wants a departure from the norm, which is about high blood pressure, deceptive rhetoric, and anemia of country performance, then he should move in straight to ensure the rehabilitation of those roads. And Rivers people are going to be very, very happy. We are not just talking of just the road, because it has a lot of implications. We are talking of companies around that area. Don't let us not forget that that is the same road that leads to our refineries. And the refinery at the main scale.
Indeed, that road is quite critical. That road, East-West Road, is quite critical. If you can hear me, Mr. Inkotaria, the East-West Road is quite critical to our national growth. And that is why I would also like to get your views about the December countdown that we've been talking about, and your thoughts on if this could actually impact and cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy on Nigerians.
Well, it really has nothing, no nexus with the removal of subsidy, no nexus whatsoever. The only difference is that when you're talking of petroleum products, of course you're going to use that route. Products that are going to Niger, products that are going to other states in the federation, it will also ensure the ease of transportation of those products. It's as simple as that, but not necessarily the price of petroleum products, and which is what a lot of people are complaining about, the price, because the removal of subsidy automatically leads to the increase in the price of petroleum products. So that does not in any way have any effect, positive for that matter, effect on petroleum products. It will only ease, because right now if you are flying that road, you find out that you have broken down trucks, and the road, because as a result of the dilapidation of deplorable condition of the roads, you have the broken down trucks. And not only just the refinery, there are so many other companies around there.
But I was actually talking about the refinery, the fact that the presidency, the Tinubu administration has said by December the refinery would start producing.
Yes, so you asked why I have my doubt, and that's what I'm saying. Most President Buhari promised us that the refinery will start producing a year after nothing happened for 8 good solid years. He blamed it on cartel, and which is a very reasonable excuse, because when you talk of the cartel, the president refused for 8 years to mention and disgrace those involved in the cartel.
There's a new man in town, and we'll wait to see how in the coming days, more revelations that we could get with regards to this particular matter. Niger Delta activist Opunabo Inkotaria joined us from Rivers State. Thank you so much for your time on the news at 10.
Thank you.
Well, again.